Okay, time to tank those view numbers with another look at some WWF toys from back in the day. This time we're looking at some tag teams. I even looked out the He-Man wrestling ring to give these boys a real workout. And as ever, each team member has their own special move that'll be performed on our volunteer, the Icon Sting.
Alright.
First up is a team that I was a big fan of when I was a kid, which just goes to show that kids know absolutely nothing. Looking back, the Bushwackers were absolutely fucking abysmal, but you can't deny they're a very fun pair of lads to look at, and they're very odd but admittedly iconic poses. And in the ring, Luke and Butch had their own combination move called the Battering Ram, but that may have been a little difficult engineering wise, so they each get their own move. Butch gets the down and out blaster, where you raise the right arm and his leg disappears into his torso before letting both go and they slam downwards. I guess you get two moves out of this, a punch and a stomp. The Bushwhackers weren't really known for their versatility, so this is nice to see. Luke gets the down under pounder, which sounds very painful, but in reality he just kinda does their signature entrance rather than anything like an offensive move. An odd pair. Oh, I hated the Nasty Boys as a little guy. I was supposed to though. Look at these two sorry sacks of shit. Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, real scumbags. Nowadays I both like and approve of this, but it was a tough pill to swallow in the early 90s. Their in-ring finisher was the trip to Nastyville, which is absolute pish of the highest order. A slam, then an elbow drop. Rubbish. I'm glad they have their own individual moves after seeing that. Knobbs has the old reliable twisting waist with the spring back. You get either a clothesline or a punch, but it's all redeemed by being called the Nasticizer. Sags has the punk pounder, where he looks like a big baby who wants their dinner. Not the greatest tag team of all time by a long shot, but they have grown on me. Everybody loved the Legion of Doom, and it's clear why. Big jacked up dafties with spike covered football pads and face paint, made to be adored by kids and made into action figures. The spikes have had to be clipped off at the ends, but I guess that's better than getting a tetanus shot. When it was time to wrap up some poor schlubs into lifeless muck, the Legion would unleash the Doomsday device, where Animal would place the opponent on their shoulders and Hawk would clothesline them off. A classic that endangered the necks of rambunctious kids everywhere. Animal was the brawn of the group, which is mad because they're both massive slabs of meat. They get the Doomsdayer, which can either be a big smack or a gorilla press slam. Hawk was the high flyer of the two, again wild because he had more juice in him than 5 mangoes, but then he gets the quite scary Hawk attack where you press down on their hunchback and their neck goes all long. I don't like it. Still, it usually works better than I ever expect it to. An absolute pair of legends. Folks, it's time for Money Inc. I genuinely keep typing Monkey Inc., which is a fun idea. I don't think they ever released these two in the same pack as a tag team, but I make the rules around here, alright? Both of these fools had their own careers before coming together to the fanfare of nobody, but Irwin R. Shyster, otherwise known as IRS, was one of those weird wrestlers that you never really quite understood as a kid, due to not understanding finances and certainly not those of the American tax system. He also wore a tie in the ring, which felt a little bit short-sighted. I like his toy though. They've sculpted him like he's one of those Ghostbuster toys that looks like his jaw's going to pop off and reveal a big eyeball or something. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, was a big favourite of mine growing up. Unfortunately, his $1 Million Championship has been lost to time, but he still somehow manages to get across that he has a lot of money. Weirdly, both of these lads have the same move under different names. IRS has the right-off slam, and Ted has the $1 Million Stomp. They didn't really have a finisher other than this weird elbow thing, and I will not be including that here. Last up are Demolition Axe and Smash, my absolute favourites growing up, and everyone says they were rip-offs of the Road Warriors, who later became the Legion of Doom, and they absolutely were, but look at them. Two big giant gimps with face paint. Look at how they got into the ring, it's unreal. I always liked Axes, they did their best, but they still looked like the guy your dad would know, and sometimes they would throw you 50p for a can of Coke, Smash has a real insane clown posse energy, but despite this, I still like them. I appreciate the toys didn't try to cover up that both men were going very, very bald. The finisher in the ring was the incredibly named Decapitation, a backbreaker followed immediately by an elbow drop, an incredible finishing move, but of course we don't get that. Axe gets the Axe attack, and look, they'd used all their creativity, on calling the actual move the Decapitation, okay? This is your standard gorilla press slam move. And Smash goes for the Demolition Smasher, which isn't much better as a name. Still, it's more on brand as being a big wind-up punch to the coupon. Okay, that's more wrestling figures. We'll get out of here.